Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update, and here we are had a bit of a sell-off the past couple of hours since our last update. We have seen a bit of a jump, which could just be part of just this overall corrective for the second wave move down and an A, B, C wave to the downside before we could possibly have that third wave up. Right now it is still just speculation for this white scenario. So far we have had a completed 5-wave move up, and if we do start to head higher, it could very well be possible that this second wave did bottom back over here, or did bottom here, and now we could already be in this third wave like we were talking about. Like we say with this support zone, it's not a magnet, it's just a support zone. So if price starts to look weak, then it can fall down here and possibly look for support before going higher. Now it seems like a lot of this pump was headline driven just because of the US-Iran war, and now that much development hasn't really came afterwards, it kind of seems like the only thing that can really push the price up for a extension or at least a third wave catalyst would definitely be a US-Iran end to the war. That would definitely cause some bullish momentum to push the price up, and then after that it would be pretty hard to push the price up further. So for those of you that are wondering, hey, could this be leading to something more bullish into a bottom of the actual bear market? Well, that it has a lot to prove for that. Obviously we need a 5-wave move up. Just only a 5-wave move up in this C wave will not be enough. It'll just look overall still as a corrective 1, 2, 3-wave move up. If we get a 4 and a 5-wave move up and then a 3-wave move down and we hold support, well then that could start to look a little bit more bullish, and we can start looking more into some of that stuff as a possibility of a bear market bottom that could have occurred at 60,000. But however, that's just very speculative at the moment, and obviously it's not guaranteed. Now once we do break above this swing higher at 76,100, I believe, 200, somewhere around this range, whenever we break this swing high over here, we very well could, it could just be an extended could always be an extended B wave, and then we go lower in a C wave. Otherwise, it could be our first indicator that we are indeed in this third wave up. Now it's just something to watch out for. Now at any moment I just have this B wave indicator here, because really at any moment this B wave could top. It very well could top here and we could break below 60,000 and head lower, but obviously we have a lot to prove that would be the case. First, we need to break below our support zone between 67,400 to 72,000 basically, and we would also need a break below our swing low here at 65,000. That would be our second indicator. Now there is a larger support zone down here, so we had a B wave that we assumed bottomed here that could have just been getting extended over to this zone, and if we break below here, we could always just restart this and head higher. And that has been a strong support that has held multiple times. You can see here, over here, this wave, and then kind of this one over here as well. So definitely strong support within this area. So once we kind of break below this low here at 60,000, well then that's kind of our final indicator that we are indeed not really in this extend, or this B wave could have possibly topped. So what would be nice to see would obviously be just a continuation of that second wave correction. That would be very nice, but obviously just with all the headlines that you just can never really guarantee what will happen. But we're going to go over this on the RSI. We haven't really seen it too much. We could have had a possible bearish divergence here on the 4-hour. If we pushed a little bit higher and closed the 4-hour candle up here, and then we could have had a bearish divergence in the 4-hour, but that was not the case. We seemed like we got a little bit of a rejection and a close not above this, so nothing too much. We're still within neutral for the 1-hour, and on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour we are also still within neutral as well. We'll kind of have to see how this develops. There hasn't really been any major divergences or anything. On the smaller time frames we got pretty close to overbought, so I'm not surprising to see this small dip right now. But if we head over to the liquidity, we can see But after that recent move, we have obviously liquidated. There's another small zone up here that got liquidated, so that was nice to see. But you can obviously see leverage is already being built up here by shorts just as soon as we fall down a little bit. So, but obviously we have our major zones way back here at 73,500, and then a larger zone back here at 69 to 70,000, and then obviously this large zone at 64 to 66,000. And on the 7-day, this is basically what we'd be kind of looking for. So we have two zones that were in between. This here at 76,000, and then back here would be our longs at 72 to 74,000 in this range for a cluster. And then back here is a 69 to 70,000 range. If we head over to the heat map, if we go on the 3-day, put it back here. So major liquidity obviously building up above, just because funding rates have been so negative, and a lot of people are just, every time the price goes up, there's just a lot of shorts come in to short this, and then therefore liquidity starts to build up above rather than below. And right now that zone here is at 76,000, and then obviously the smaller liquidity zones below us at that 70 to 73,000 region on the 3-day. And then on the weekly, it is kind of the same story, where we have that liquidity above us and that larger zone below us as well. So it would make sense for a wave 2 pullback, but just with funding rates and seeing how every single time the price pushes up, it just gets so negative, and a ton of shorts kind of come into the market, and then the price doesn't fall as much, so funding rate starts to fall, and then the price pushes up a little bit, and then funding rate starts to go up again. It's just kind of what it is. Frustrating if you are a shorter as well, but what are you going to do? Coinbase Premium still within the positive, and if we head over to the open interest, we have seen a bit of a decline on the open interest. Even with this pump we just had, we haven't seen too big of a incline in open interest, so that's nice to see. And on the 15 minutes, yeah, same thing we were just saying. Funding rate obviously starting to go up, but obviously as price starts to fall, funding rate goes down, so that's pretty nice to see as well. So what we can expect over the next 24 hours before the next update would be, obviously, liquidity wise and funding rate and RSI, it wouldn't be too crazy just because the market has now closed. S&P 500 actually just hit another new all-time high on the S&P 500, so that's pretty nice to see for stocks. What would be ideal for a 1-2 setup would obviously be an A, B, C to the downside before starting to work higher. That would look nice because we probably would liquidate a lot of longs on the bottom, and then I'm sure short liquidity would be building right above. And just with the headlines and whatnot, I mean, if there is for some reason a deal that does come for the US-Iran war, that could create a catalyst third wave, and that could definitely bring us into the higher 70s, lower 80s, which would be pretty nice to see. So liquidity wise, I mean, we obviously have that zone above us. Funding rate is still negative, so if we do go a little bit higher, this could either be an extended B wave before we go lower. Otherwise, it could be our indication that this was all the second wave right here, and now we're in that larger third wave. Now, if we are in that larger third wave, then this whole move could just be a quicker, for example, if this is all of the first wave, then this is all the second wave. And then if we just go straight up in that third wave, then fourth wave, fifth wave, this could be a lot quicker and not as, I guess, higher move compared to if we do have a healthy second wave move down and then a higher third wave up. I guess, price and impulsiveness, I guess it would be better if we do just form a 1-2 setup and then bounce off support and go higher. That would definitely be a more of a nicer move to see. Otherwise, if this was indeed all of the wave 2 and now we're just going higher in a third wave, then this move could be very quick, not as high, and then we could possibly see a rejection. So I guess for bulls, it would be a little bit better. We probably would go higher overall if we do form a more healthy second wave, but obviously nothing's guaranteed. What if this was all the second wave move and then now we are getting a healthy third wave? I mean, you just never know with that, but we'll kind of have to wait and see how that develops. Otherwise, once we kind of break below this swing low here, and then another one on the 15-minute, which would probably be here at 70. Yeah, once we kind of break below 73,200 in this area, that would kind of be our indication that we are indeed in this second wave move down and that we could possibly find support there. Otherwise, if we break above this, it's either a extended B wave up before getting a rejection, or this is all of our second wave right here, and now we're going to be going higher for that third wave. So yeah, hopefully that was simple. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.